you see what happened with the Michigan thing? How did that happen? One of their coaches has a Minnesota beanie hoodie on their sideline with a headset. How did that happen? No one looked and said, this guy hasn't coached us all year.
Who the fuck are you?
Who is this guy? Did you see the picture?
No.
Dude, he's standing on the game with a fucking clipboard in his hand. How did nobody notice this?
Coach, let me see that play sheet real quick.
Bro, I have to look this up. I'm like, that's their fault.
I didn't know that.
I always feel how the show is going to go based off of my clap, and it was a bad clap.
A terrible clap.
Welcome to episode 40 of the press conference. It is August 14th, 2020, 4 years after zero. And we are back with an episode. Football season in less than a month away.
It wasn't a year zero.
Yeah, I was going to say Billy has a real issue with the whole year zero thing, but I agree with you that
there had to be a zero.
Right. If there's a 2024, there's a zero.
Right. And zero is anything before the first year. So even if you're a little
what was that
AD or BC.
What was that conversation like when they were like, hey, you know how you just died? Yeah, it's year one now.
No, he died in 30 or 33 AD.
So when he was born, we said, this is it.
How I do math,
yeah.
We started zero.
I don't like that.
He also technically could have been born in BC.
It wouldn't be BC.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Listen, all this religious shit is fucking made up, and it's all that happened was everything died and people evolved, and at a certain point people said, fuck, we should start counting time, probably. Mm-hmm. And that was way after the time that we think it is now, but we've just been told that this is what year we're in, so just fucking accept it, and just it's after zero. As far as you know, you were 25 years after September 5th, 1998.
Honestly, I think we are.
No, we are. Right. With that being said, we're about 2 weeks.
If we're in a simulation right now, yeah, we are. It started when I was born.
Yeah, it did. Your world started when you were born.
I saw something about a tech genius saying,
nerd.
A tech genius saying there's a 75% chance we're in a simulation.
Don't know what that means.
It's very literal. It means there's a 75% chance that we're...
What's a simulation?
That this is a simulated, like a video game from a higher realm.
So
like how you
controlling
like
me?
how you control a Grand Theft Auto character.
No, that's not true, because nobody would just like tell me to do that. Like I just thought that.
You think that.
Right.
Well, what type of things have you done in Grand Theft Auto that you wouldn't normally do?
Exactly.
But I'm playing the game, is what I'm not understanding.
But like it could give you, but like they were
explaining. Because people would do more weird shit.
Let me explain. They were explaining, like, you know how in video games, if you play like campaign, there's video game characters that do their own thing.
Yes.
That you don't have to control. That's what we are. We can do our own thing within the video game. But it's still within a simulation.
It's like that movie Guy that Ryan Reynolds was in.
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to touch on it.
He's in a video game, but then he finally has self-awareness and free will. He figures out, so he starts doing his own thing within the video game.
There you go. That's what we are.
That is I more believe that Adam and Eve story than that bullshit. So,
well, I won't believe that bullshit.
Yeah, I think neither are right. I just think people thought about it too much. I think.
Well, the simulation.
I just think people.
I also think it's simpler than.
It's very simple. It seems to be
because that's the thing, right? Evolution, like. How did the video game get to evolution?
Right.
There you go.
All right.
Let's move on.
With that being said, the Olympics finished up last week, I believe. What's the total medal count? Just so we could knock that out of the park. USA had the most medals. USA and China.
It's completely done.
Done.
I didn't even know that, to be honest.
I was kind of bummed out. I feel like they didn't, because it was in Paris and so late. It's like you can't really watch it as much as you would like to.
Oh, I watched a lot of it.
I watched a lot of it because it was so late, because I got off work and was able to watch it.
Depends on your schedule. What's the country with the most people on the planet? India?
India.
They got one medal, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they even got one.
They got one. Bronze, I think.
Yeah, they're just...
How does that happen?
They don't have a call scam Olympics, that's
what they said. Cricket?
Or a fucking gas station owner.
Yeah, have you seen how long cricket games can go?
Weeks.
And months. It can end in a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just say, hey, you know what? Fair play.
Right.
See you next year.
That'd be fun to try, though.
For the Olympics, I don't know what people's opinions are. I like water polo, the table tennis. You know what? I'm going to make a strong statement that I don't really fuck with the gymnastics like that. Like people are like, the gymnastics.
I think it's interesting.
It's cool, but I just don't watch it as much. As like if there's a gymnastics meet on, whatever it is, competition, and water polo game, I'm watching.
I get what you're saying, where like, it's definitely one of the hardest things to do.
Oh,
100%. You're saying that, but like when I watch it, I'm just like,
I'd rather watch handball. Handball's
I like watching a sport that's like, it has to do with competition where he's
two
playing
people,
him.
Right.
I could do diving.
Oh, the diving's
diving
awesome.
is lit.
Diving's awesome. I didn't
When
say
that
like,
little Chinese girl does it and there's no splash, holy shit.
That's impressive.
She
When they
weighs
can do it
47
when they do
pounds.
synchronized and they
Crazy.
end at the same.
And it's the Chinese girls again.
Yeah, it's always. But I was watching the gymnastics on the rings, and I thought this one guy did a lot better than another guy, and he got bronze, and I was like, I don't understand.
That's
what
part
they
of
want.
it. That's why I guess you know what? Maybe I'm just stupid. But when I watch handball, I'm like, they won 8-7. I'll watch a guy do something, and they'll be like, oh yeah, but that's he did this, that, and the other. I'm like, I feel like he did way better than the other guy, but
Yeah, they'll go like his difficulty level's this versus his difficulty level's this. So if he does this 75% good and he does this 100, he'll still get higher because his higher difficulty.
how do they pick those judges for like a gymnastics? Because I feel like it's most old people. They did not do gymnastics, so how are they?
I did like somebody suggested is a joke, but every country and every sport should have just one average person,
I think they
Do
should
the
do an
sport?
average Olympics.
so you can kind of see like actually how difficult all this shit is.
Not to skip ahead, but on the second episode of Hard Knocks, Jonathan Owens, him and Simone Biles, they're married. They did a rope comp, like to climb the rope, and he was like at practice talking to Jalen Johnson or something. He was like, "Man, I was fucking telling her I'm about to fucking tear you up at this," and
Whooped his ass.
he didn't even get halfway up, and she was done. Like he was like, they've got it's a different type of athleticism because if he picked her up and just slammed her on her head,
Yeah.
she'd be
And she
fucked.
came across the middle.
Yeah, and he was hitting people. In the
She's like a
second
little black freak though.
episode. Like why does he have to do this? Man? She's
Did you see
honestly
how high she got off the ground?
She's
on that
one of
one
the-
jump though.
that's why when the 100 athletes was she in there?
She has to
Yeah,
be.
she was. I
Like
think.
that to me, like you have to put
She would
those
technically
people
have to be
in.
top 10. So how decorated she is.
Right. That's what I mean. The problem with the Olympics, not to be rude, but like
I'd tear it up.
yeah, I mean, okay, I guess.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying when it comes to like Olympics and gymnastics, like if someone said you can have Olympic gold medal or Super Bowl MVP trophy, which one would you pick?
Super Bowl MVP.
Right? I mean, you'd have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as valuable these
Oh,
days.
I guess the easiest sport to do is basketball. Would you rather have an NBA Finals MVP or an Olympic gold medal?
NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think I'd have to, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball,
I'd rather win the Balloon d'Or. I'd rather win the Champions League. I'd rather win the English Premier League.
I don't know about
I'd rather
Premier
win
League.
the World Cup.
World Cup, yes.
I'd rather win what's some other
World Cup
sports?
is
Stanley Cup.
As Olympics, pretty much, right?
Yeah, but it's U23 for Olympics, and you get one or two people over
Oh, I didn't know
23.
that. All right.
It used to not be back in my day. But going to basketball,
You want to do the medal count?
yes, real quick, knock that out.
USA was first with 126. China was second with 91. You guys want to guess who was third?
No high five, I guess, for winning the most medals in the world. This guy doesn't respect
We had 126
total medals.
and they had 91. How many gold did we have in them?
40.
This is actually, I'm disappointed. We had 40 and China had 40.
Mm.
We tied for first in gold. We were first with silver with 44.
I would like to guess the third, yes. And what's the count for the third?
65.
So it's a big drop off. Russia.
Great Britain.
Well, thanks for letting us guess.
And we were first in bronze
What
with
the fuck is going on here, man?
42.
Where was Russia?
They're not on there.
Were they even allowed?
In gold, it went
What would Russia
USA,
be good at that you thought
China,
they'd have that?
Just
Japan.
huge country.
In silver, it went USA, China, France. In bronze, it went USA, Great Britain, China.
So it's pretty much the top.
We ran the show.
I mean, you know what
You know
USA
what it
does.
is.
I did find it interesting. Like, people talk shit about USA, but when you watch like the Chinese team, you know what they're gonna look like. When you watch the French team, you know what they're gonna look like. When you watch the Great Britain team, you know what you're gonna look like. When you watch the USA
Oh,
teams,
I get what you mean. It's diverse.
Like if you watch like the Nigerian team, you're like, oh, I could visualize what. When you watch the American team,
There's no. Yeah, I know what they'll look like.
the American team, you're like, it could be
Yeah.
all types of people. Oh,
That guy's not on China.
Yeah,
Because you could have like ping pong players.
Yeah, I think that's what makes America that like people will say.
that's what makes America great again.
That's what people say. People will go, "Oh, Brazil has the best looking girls." I'm like, we have Brazilians from Brazil in America, so we have the best.
we just have the most types of people.
because it's like we have those Brazilians, but we also have white girls. We have this.
Or
we
what
have
happens when a Brillian fucks a Colombian in America? What does that mean?
that. Yeah,
Because if you're in
because
Brazil,
you don't got that in Brazil. We
you
got
can't
it here.
find many Colombians.
Right.
Here you can find everybody.
Or a Brazilian fucks a Jap.
Oh, that's some cocoa milky skin. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't think you could say Jap.
Yeah.
Well, I just did.
I know somebody. I'll tell you who after. They always post when
Oriental.
Shohei hits it. It says my Jap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's. I can't imagine that's okay. Right.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Good for you. But I want to get into the basketball. I want to ask you both after I kind of go off about basketball. The USA won the gold medal. I want to start off by saying the 1992 team, I saw the teams they played. People are giving this team shit. Like, these games were close. The world's catching up in basketball. Everyone's a lot better now. But I saw a lot of people kind of giving shit, saying LeBron James shouldn't have got the MVP. I think he averaged 16, 8, and 7 on over 50% shooting. I was perfectly okay with him getting the MVP. Everyone was saying Steph Curry should have been the MVP of the Olympics for basketball, but I thought LeBron throughout was better. Steph Curry in the two biggest games played the best, but we were talking about it before. Billy was mainly saying, like, and, you know, we can get into the whole if he's top 10 conversation on another episode, but, like, this guy's this guy's that, and he showed up in the two games we needed him most, and in the last 2 minutes of the fucking gold medal game, put it away completely. Yeah, I'll chew a little louder. You can drink as loud as you fucking want to, you fat idiot. But LeBron throughout, like I said, averaged, I think it was like 15, or I can't remember the points, but it was something 8 and 7 on 50+% shooting. For a lot of the games prior to the gold medal game, he was the one late kind of taking over, you know, the fucking. I like that move the best by him, by the way.
He just kind of flexes his shoulders up.
Just like get off of
me.
But did you guys think LeBron was the right? Some people were saying Kevin Durant.
People forget.
Like, okay,
no, not him.
Come on.
Not KD. I thought Devin Booker played well, but not him. I thought it was between Steph or LeBron. And also, like, are we forgetting the big moments LeBron had?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, just because it's like recency bias. Because Steph had the most recent big moments, and he had that huge game where he hit like 8 threes or something. Like, we kind of remember that, but it's like, I felt besides that moment at the end in the gold medal game, every time it's like, we need something to happen here, we went to LeBron. So, and his numbers looked the best, and he just overall, when I watched it, I felt like, wow, LeBron's 39 and still the best player maybe in the world. So I felt like he deserved it.
I said to somebody, if you watched him play and just watched and had no clue, and I said that guy's 40 and the rest of these guys are 28, 29, 34, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here. There's no fucking way this guy's
that guy's the best on the floor.
Bill, you're okay with the LeBron MVP?
100%. Why would he be in the conversation? Because he hit 8 threes?
And then, this fucking gold medal game. I mean, he down the stretch.
Yeah, but
that last shot was fucking
insane.
If Ray Allen had 8 threes in the finals, 1 or 2 games, you're not gonna go, oh, we should give that to him.
Right.
Like that.
Well, yeah.
Or even if he had it, if he played shit the whole till game 7 and hit 8 threes in game 7, you're gonna be like, oh, that was a big game. I should give him MVP.
Right.
What else does Steph do? Does he play defense?
No, I mean, but though, like I said, my only thing with Steph where I could see the argument is I'm like, I mean, yeah, he did that, but he's one of those guys, if he didn't have that type of go off, he wouldn't have done much more, like Billy said.
How else is he contributing? LeBron can not score and contribute.
Well, on defense, the last few possessions, they were taking him out to put Drew in, like, which I agree with. But for all those guys, too, I mean, we actually can get into it. The Jason Tatum stuff. Steve Kerr, I think, said he's not coaching again. I think partially he should know that's not going to be by choice because you should not be coaching this team when you're like, even Draymond Green came out and is like, man, that guy's first team All-NBA, just won a finals, highest played player, and you're going to tell me that you can't give that guy minutes twice. Now, I think the second game against Serbia, even when we were down, he was thinking, well, I can't give this guy minutes now because I'm look like a real dickhead.
Right.
Like, I really think he was thinking that way. And he could say he wasn't, and it's matchups, and it's this, and it's that, but I just think that's a bullshit fucking pussy bitch move to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it either. I don't get what Jason Tatum did wrong.
Well, he said matchups, and some guys aren't going to play, but it's like...
But matchups, it doesn't make sense to me either, because whatever Devin Booker or Anthony Edwards can match up with, Jason Tatum can as well.
That's why I said I just don't think, like... If it was like Joel Embiid
and we were in the regular season.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like. There's something weird. I can't imagine Steve Kerr was like, I just don't like him.
There was a lot of weirdness with the Celtics. Like, people like almost, I felt like trying to divide the Celtics with like the Jaylen Brown.
Done that for 2 years.
And then like the Derek White and this and Drew Holiday's playing, but Jason Tatum's not. And it, like all the shit, it just felt like, what's with the weirdness going on with the Celtics players?
Would you see what Grant Hill said? He's like, I called Jaylen Brown personally and talked to him. And Jaylen Brown was like, I never got a call. And Paul George even said, he goes, yeah, I only found out I didn't make the team when I found out I didn't make the team.
Yeah.
Like, nobody called me to tell me.
Is he going to be on the 2028 team?
Who?
Jaylen Brown.
He should have been, yeah.
I mean, he should have been on this team, but he has to be, right?
I think it's more of his choice.
Another thing I wanted to say about the Olympics is some of the sports, I'm like, come on. They have breakdancing in the Olympics. They're taking it out for 2028, but I was like, that's
no, they didn't.
Yeah.
They did. You know what actually is
Australian
sweet?
girl?
No. Breakdancing?
It was ridiculous.
She did terrible.
It was horrible.
You know what's a good sport? Skateboarding.
Yeah, but
there's a Japanese dude, bro. That guy is fucking...
I hate to be that guy. I don't think it should be in the Olympics.
Why not?
I just don't feel like it's an Olympic sport. I'm not the guy who decides
I don't
these
think
things,
wrestling is.
I do.
Well, I guess kind of.
I do.
Do you think table tennis is an Olympic fucking sport?
That's another one. I don't think it's an Olympic
Okay.
sport.
I mean, but it's electric to watch.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is electric to watch, but it's
Fucking
kind of
diving.
like if you had like
All right, get to shocking.
Yeah.
Stop playing around.
we should almost have a number of sports that it has to be. It's like, okay, who's the best at these 20 sports? You know, because I like the swimming stuff, and I think it's almost like I think there should be a very tough physical element to the sport. Tennis, football, basketball, soccer, baseball.
Skateboarding will be physically tough. You have to
No.
jump up and fucking.
No, it's not that physical. Table tennis isn't that physically tough. Swimming is. You know,
Mhm.
the diving, all the swimming activities are. Gymnastics, I agree with that being an Olympic
I don't
sport.
think handball either. Then
Handball,
water polo for
get
sure.
the fuck out of here.
What?
Handball and water polo for sure.
No, I
You're
don't think
sprinting up
handball
and down
should
a
be.
fucking thing the whole
Sprinting
time.
up and down the fucking thing. The whole
But
time.
even handball, when I watch it, I'm like, it's also like, is it? I'm not just talking about America. Is it world renowned? Because it's like cricket. It's like that is popular in 1 to 2 countries. You know, why isn't American
It's popular in all countries, not America.
cricket
yeah,
popular? I think
Yeah.
it's popular in
In
India
Europe.
and Great
in
Britain.
Europe and
Australia.
Okay, then I'm wrong. But okay,
Same as-
why
it's like
isn't
it's like all the sports that play rugby? Play
why
cricket.
isn't American football in the Olympics?
we're the only country that has a professional league in it.
So why is all these like is ping pong world renowned? Is it who watches ping pong?
You know what should be added? Cornhole.
Exactly. Who plays cornhole besides America? That's why it's not in the Olympics. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think the sports are cool. I just think it's
Beer
I-
pong.
Like who's watching professional beer pong, ping pong,
I've
table
watched
tennis,
and been
handball?
professional.
Where's handball like a top? It should have to be like here should be the requirement. It has to be a top 5 sport in at least 3 to 5, like 3 or 5 countries.
What
think
are we talking about?
would
Why
you be-
not baseball?
That's what I'm saying. Baseball's not in it, and it's for sure a top sport in Japan, America, Dominican
That'd be
Republic, a
sweet.
bunch of South America and the Caribbeans and all those things. Mexico, it's huge in a bunch of places.
Jamaica.
Jamaica and Jamaica, the baseball gonna but the fucking whatever. But like
Show's gone off the rails.
yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like it's some of the sports that are in versus some that aren't versus some that this and they're removing and they're adding flag football next. But it's like.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think
Why?
that should be in it,
No.
just because it's like if our flag football team is Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and whatever,
Anthony Edwards said he's going to play on it.
and then even Anthony Edwards, and then we're playing the Chinese team. It's like okay, no one else plays this. We don't have to act like it's a big world-renowned sport.
Indoor volleyball. People like the beach volleyball. It's cool. I like the indoor, the 6-on, whatever it is, 5-on-5. I like that a lot better. That's amazing to watch.
I'm fine with that being a sport because it's popular in America. It's popular in other countries. Like it's popular to billions of people. If it's not popular to billions of people, I don't want to watch it.
I think billions is a fucking stretch for sure.
For volleyball, no.
I don't think you watch play. I don't think 80% of America watches plays or has any fuck given about volleyball unless they turn on the Olympics and are like, oh, this is on. I'll
I
watch
bet
that.
you pickleball's there soon.
Pickleball, if it becomes world renowned, should be there.
One-on-one only. I don't want to watch 2 people in the kitchen just whacking the ball back and forth. Let's get some movement going.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we got for the Olympics?
Some trivia for basketball.
Should we? Oh, we want to do the trivia basketball. Women's
It's not
boxing,
Olympic, it's NBA.
Women's boxing, golf, and tennis. What are we doing?
Here's another thing, though, I liked, because what's his name said, what are you world champions of when the Celtics
Noah
won?
Lyles.
Yeah. And they gave the first team all Olympics. It was like Wembanyama, Jokic, LeBron, Steph, and someone else.
KD.
No, it was non-American.
Oh, Dennis Schroeder.
Let's just say it was
Yeah,
Schroeder.
It was
It's
Schroeder.
Okay. And it said,
Somehow.
and someone just quoted it and
Get a
said,
good Olympics.
so it's like those 5 guys, Wembanyama, Jokic, whatever. And then all the next best players were, I'm just going to make up names, but Gobert and all these guys, right? And someone just quoted and said, what league do all these guys play in?
Yeah.
So what are all the best players in the world playing? You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry. The Celtics going to play the EuroLeague champions.
Right.
That'd
So
be
it's
bad.
like, if you're the world, it's like, how are the Celtics the world champions? They beat all these teams in America. It's like, I mean, the best players in the world. We beat the best player on the other team. Where's he from? The Mavericks. He's not from fucking America. He's from Slovenia.
Well, here's my thing too.
Who won it last year? Who was the Finals MVP last year? A guy from Serbia.
What do you call it?
It was a regular season MVP. And
Semi
finals MVP.
Ojeleye. Not Semi Ojeleye. Yabusele. The dude. There's another dude. I can't remember his name.
Cornier.
Yeah, these guys play in the NBA and get fucking dog shit minutes. Don't do fuck all, and they're like stars in that league. It just goes to show you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sorry, but like this is the best league.
It's the same thing with the American soccer team. It's like they play in the MLS. It's like if they're not playing overseas in the Premier Leagues and everything like that, they're not going to do shit.
They suck.
Come the World Cup.
Right.
Like a Pulisic and everything that actually plays in an actual league. If you're just stuck in the MLS, it's like, oh, okay.
For the golf, I think Scheffler was down pretty big Sunday. Came through and fucking just had to take gold again.
But you're world champions if you're playing in a sport that involves players from all around the world, and it's the top league in the world.
NFL's kind of weird because it'd be like world champions, and it's like, oh, well, you're the only country in the whole world that plays this sport.
Right. That's true.
But it's just a way to put it. It's a fucking figure of speech, you fucking asshole. Right. I don't know. That guy's painted
He should have won the 400 before he started talking shit.
But also, you're the world champions because it's like, okay, go find me an 11 players who aren't in the NFL that are better than this team.
Not even that, but
the
the NBA is in the world, and it's
you know what I mean.
Only
the NFL too, though.
League called the NBA. So
no one's beating
you are
the
the world champions of the NBA.
No, if you took the next 57 best man roster outside of the NFL throughout the rest of the world, they're not beating the Chiefs, so they're the world champions.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I just think he's an asshole.
Yeah, he is. He knows what he was doing with that, though.
No, he does. Right, like he knows what he was doing, which is the main point. And it's like you're closer to this than I am. It's like, dude, cool, bro. Like you like. That's like, how insecure are you? Like, just fucking be like, those guys are great. They're, but like, because he just came out of nowhere and said world champions of what? And it's like,
like
I would have pulled that guy. I literally would have been like,
so he said something
fuck
about
this dude.
Adidas and invited him to an Anthony Edwards thing, and somebody goes, "Do you really think you're bigger than Anthony Edwards?" Worldwide?
Well, he said he didn't make it because of something else, so that's a conflicting story. But he was like, I didn't. He's like, I like him. I just didn't go because he said he had a prior engagement and the party came up late. It was like I don't know, whatever the case was, but I'm like, but when that happens. It's like, well, people already think you're an asshole, so now you're just adding fuel. If he didn't show up and no one knew him, they just be like, oh, shit, he had an engaged, whatever. But now it's like, oh, he probably didn't because he's a piece of shit. And it's like, that might not be the case. But I just, like I said, I'm like, bro, cool. Now LeBron and these guys don't like you. What do you gain out of that? Like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool to party with all them, so you might as well have just not been a piece of shit.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, that guy brings it. Got an A on the project and didn't fucking do a thing. Right. That tweet got like millions.
And then his van that he pulled up in.
Yeah, with all the women.
Oh, my God.
Just before we get to the trivia, women's boxing, tennis, just to wrap up the Olympics, women's boxing, tennis, golf, what did we have, Bill? Seems like you
women's boxing was the men boxer.
The controversy around that she's not a man.
Yeah, she's not a man. That does suck.
Yeah, you just got
to just be more manly, and people be like, get that fucking guy out of the Olympics.
Yeah, that sucked.
This completely ruined her Olympics.
Did she win the gold?
Yeah, she won the gold.
Well, congratulations. At least,
it sucks.
Well deserved. She's a woman.
Yeah, which was found out later. Like I said, Scheffler won the gold for golf, which is weird. And then, not weird, but it's just weird that golf is just awesome. The guy just continues to dominate. And then tennis, Djokovic.
That was awesome. That was his only thing missing out of his trophy case.
Yeah.
You know what the last Olympics he competed in was? Before 2024?
I think it was a long time ago.
2012?
2008.
I was going to say 04 or 08.
He got the bronze.
Yeah.
And who got the gold that year?
Rafael
Nadal.
Yeah, we know that. I remember watching that. Who you beat? Was it Federer?
Nah.
No, it was... I can't remember who he beat. Regardless. We have some basketball trivia.
NBA trivia, yes. Top 10 highest career points per game.
I would say from now on I'd like to do top 5.
Yeah, I feel that, but I like the 10 here.
All right.
And I'll give you number
in a season.
Yeah, no career. Well, I asked the question, didn't I? Top 10. You were thinking too focused on top 5 as soon as I said top 10. I think.
Why not do top 100?
So top 10 highest career points per game.
I'm with you
in NBA history, and I'll give you number 10 is Bob Pettit.
Okay.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain is number 2, 30.1. He's tied for number 1. Sorry.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell is not in here.
Close.
Okay, so that guy's out of the GOAT conversation. You play against 3 guys our size, and you can't score.
I think he averaged 19 and 27.
Okay, let's get some guys going.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan's tied for first with Wilt Chamberlain with 30.1.
LeBron James.
He is 7th with 27.1.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic is 3rd with 28.7.
James Harden.
James Harden is not in here in top 10.
Okay, well that's fucking ridiculous.
Must be a wrong list or something.
Yeah, there's not something going on here. KD.
Kevin Durant is 6th, right in front of LeBron. LeBron is 27.1. LeBron is 27.3. LeBron.
A great player.
That would be the best player.
10's too many to remember.
Yeah, what do we have so far?
You have Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Bob Pettit.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, not in the top 10. There's one more active player. He also has the fewest minutes per game of anyone, and he's 4th. overall of anyone in the top 10.
The problem is I don't want to sit here in silence, but if I say like Giannis and it's wrong, it's like this guy's a
That's
fucking
good guess.
retard.
Who's a guy that doesn't play a lot of minutes, doesn't play a lot of games, but scores a lot when he does?
I mean, Terrence Ross
Scores
much.
the most when he does.
Terrence Ross can fucking light you up if you want him to. Yeah, I have no clue.
I mean, it's NBA scoring champion type caliber guys. It's not going to be fucking Terrence Ross.
That guy will give it to you.
Joel Embiid is 4th at 27.9.
Is he the one that you just said? Doesn't play a lot of minutes?
32 minutes a game. That's the lowest on the list. And then Elgin Baylor's 5th. Jerry West is 8th.
Oh, yeah, I can't forget.
And this guy has 4 scoring titles in the 2000s.
Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson is 9th.
Okay. What's that?
That's another guy getting more underrated as he gets older.
That's why I wanted to...
As time goes on...
So you guys said you want to do top 5. That's why I wanted to do top 10, mainly to mention KD, LeBron, Jerry West, but also the main reason was because we had talked about... what was it? The 2000s? Since 2000, first team All-NBA or something like that. And Allen Iverson, people were arguing between Allen Iverson and like Steph or something like that. And I was like, man, the disrespect to think, like people were like, how the fuck is Allen Iverson on here? It's like he had 4 scoring titles since 2000.
Because people don't realize, especially it's a lot of people, what we don't understand too is I'm sitting there thinking I'm arguing on the internet or whatever. If you're arguing with a guy my age who's watched the same basketball as me,
it's not.
If you're arguing with some 17-year-old who's watched Steph Curry and saw a picture of AI getting his braids fixed by his mom.
No, like this guy's better.
No, they look up advanced stats and they're like,
well, yeah, if you shoot
his efficient field goal percentage. It's like, come on, dude.
Okay, and like there was just a clip of Kobe in the 08 team. In the last 8 minutes, he scored and assisted on every point against Spain. And somebody goes, "Yeah, but his advanced stats are shit." And
okay.
Bill Simmons, the guy was being sarcastic.
Oh.
And Bill Simmons wrote an article that year. He's like, 8 minutes left. Spain cut it to 2, and you had the greatest players in the world, and they looked at him and said, "You take over this team."
Yeah, but his field goal percentage isn't great, so like we shouldn't give it to him there, right?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those stupid. I saw another one too. It was players that average 35 points per game in a season, and Michael Jordan, the league average was like 107 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden, it was like 110 points per game, and Kobe, it was 90 points per game or something.
Yeah, they all scored like 35 points a game, let's say, just to be fair. They all averaged 35 a game in a season or something. And the average scoring when Michael Jordan did it was like 110 in the league, but people make you think they only scored like 70 points per game. Harden's was like 109, and then Kobe's was like 94, and it's like he was scoring almost half of his team's points.
Right. That's what they're talking
about.
Throughout
the whole season.
It was Game 7 of the Celtics 2010 finals, and people were talking about like Kobe had a great because it was the Game 5. Kobe I think scored 24 points in a row for his team, and then Game 7. He shot like
terrible.
Like
he had like 17 rebounds or something.
Yeah, 17 rebounds, and people are like, you realize they were double teaming him. He had a broken finger.
No one realized.
While he was double teamed, he passed it to Meta World Peace, and he was asking for the ball back, but Meta was so wide open that he shot it.
Ron Artest at the time.
And yeah, Ron Artest, and it's one of those things. Was it?
Probably not.
He might have changed it right around then. But anyway, Meta World Peace, I'll just call him. That's his name now. And it's like if LeBron does that, it's smart basketball move. That won him the game. But when Kobe does it on the double team and asks for it back, it's like he was shit that. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like people will criticize anything. They also forget that Kobe, in my opinion, is the best defensive shooting guard of all time. So there's just so many things that stats will never show you.
There was one I thought was cool after Kemba retired.
That guy stunk.
Kemba Walker.
He did see
he was under 6 feet, players shorter than 6 feet. He had 5 seasons of 20-point games. He was second. Allen Iverson was first with 12.
5 seasons of averaging 20 points a game.
20-plus points per game.
The Sean Sharp,
under 6 feet tall. Allen Iverson had 12 of those.
Yeah. No, that's and like I said, with the era Kobe played in was the same as AI with the points being low. He had 4 scoring titles. But like I said,
over 30 points a game, Allen Iverson averaged.
Yeah, but I'm saying 4 scoring titles as well. But it's just people, like I said, like Crawford was texting me the other day, and he was saying Steph's in his GOAT conversation because he's the GOAT of shooting, and he's made the game this way. And I'm like, well, in terms of changing the game, but like greatest player ever in terms of like you put him on the court.
Changing the game, but okay.
He is the GOAT of
Ray
that.
Allen was first in 3 points field goals by a large margin. Nobody was talking about Ray Allen.
Yeah, but it was a lot different the
Yeah,
way
it
he
was
was
a
shooting
lot
compared to Steph. I mean, Steph literally,
Ray Allen had
Kevin
those
Durant,
toes
LeBron
right.
James were like this. Like, I'm wide open. And not one person even said, like, when Dame took that shot, people were like, it is a stupid shot. Like, I haven't heard a person, they're just like, well, it's Steph Curry. So
Yeah, his
fuck
off ball,
do you want?
on ball, off dribble, on dribble, and his ability to shoot from range past the 3-point line. Versus, he was one of the first. He's not the first guy ever to shoot it from fucking 3+ feet behind the 3-point line, but he's the first guy that was willingly pulling up as if that was where the 3-point line was.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
just no fucks
But
given.
at the same point, what else does he do as a all-around basketball player?
Off ball, he's very
I think
good.
I think, and Uncle Al was saying this too, because he was saying he was watching the finals and they just said this Kyrie guy has the best ball handling of all time. He was like, how does his ball handling better than Stephen Curry's? What does he do better, flashier? And I'm like, I would argue that Steph Curry's ball handling is better than Kyrie Irving's.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I think he has great ball handling.
I think
I would say he doesn't.
I would say his ball handling is top 5 all
I will
time.
say
Define ball
he has
handling.
more turnover.
Control of the
I think
ball
he's more
or
turnover
dribbling?
prone though, because he's
Both.
Dribble moves,
Everything.
no shot. That move
Like
that
a-
Kyrie did
like a-
with the
like
he
a
could,
bag.
He's flashier.
Kyrie?
Yeah,
No, he's better.
but he can handle the ball better. I think Steph.
I don't think
He's
so.
he's a
I
better point guard of handling the ball in terms of distributing.
Who?
But Steph,
His
I don't
dribbling
think so.
is up to par as well.
no shot.
Draymond Green was the point guard of that team.
No, but Steph, he can pass.
And then how many times
he's-
does Steph have you seen him just fucking around and he throws it? He did it in the Olympics, and it's like, who are you throwing the ball to?
Oh no, he'll turn the. I mean,
You're
Kyrie's
fucking
done the
around.
same thing. But my thing is with Kyrie guarding somebody 1-on-1. If you're guarding one of those two guys, if they played 1-on-1 and you watched, Kyrie would cook him more than Steph would cook him based off of dribbling, pump faking. The only reason Steph has an advantage is because, well, if he's going to try to shoot from half court, I have to try to contest him. But like I said, like Kyrie, like get into the rim with the ball on the glass and up here to the left hand all the
I
way
think Steph
switch.
can do all that almost as well. If
Yeah,
not as
I just
well.
think his shooting is so much better than Kyrie's. You have to
I
respect
don't think
that.
it's so much better.
Oh,
'Cause
I-
Kyrie's a very efficient shooter.
I
as
think
well.
Steph's the best shooter of all time, but that
Yes,
doesn't put you in
I
a
mean-
GOAT conversation.
No.
Rudy Gobert, he has 4 Defensive Players of the Year awards. He's the best defender of all time. He should be in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
But
No,
you got to remember all the other things that Steph does great, and he has scoring titles, and he has
No.
multiple MVPs, as well as he has a Finals MVP and 4 rings as well.
Offensively, off ball, if you watch like a video of him off ball, about the amount he runs through a game and is still putting up 30 points, and he doesn't need like when KD was there in regular season, you good and Draymond can have the ball, just catch and shoot, and then I can take it off the dribble. Like he's offensively great,
You could do that with Clay though too, off ball.
not but on ball. I'm saying
Not
he can
on
do
ball.
off or on.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
He's a
Steph,
great.
Steph isn't
Steph
one of
did
those
change
where
the game of
you need to get me in rhythm, and I need to, I want like Kyrie with Brad Stevens and shit would do that play where he'd run up and they'd set that little pick and he would just pull up like Steph. It's like, bro, you can I could sit the whole first quarter, come out, draw me plays off ball, on ball, and I'll still score the same amount.
And it's like, okay, who was the first one to hit threes at a nice clip that changed the game of basketball? Changed the game of basketball.
No,
to make
he
you a great
changed it.
basketball
He
player.
changed it now
to
where,
another
like,
level.
Yeah, it's a different
And
game.
he changed it to the point now where it's like your center can't shoot threes.
I mean,
Why is he
Wembanyama-
on the floor?
Yeah. I mean, that, like I said, he just changed it to where it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
why
we got to catch up to what's going on.
Why is Victor Wembanyama shooting threes? And honestly, it's not because it's partially because of Kevin Durant with his size shooting the threes, but it's more so because everyone realized what having a leader with the 3-point shooting ability of like
Yeah.
a Steph Curry can get you.
No, not like I said. I'm not bashing him, but like I don't think it's bashing him by saying Kyrie has a better ball handle than him. But like when that guy's spinning like that spin against Milwaukee and put like that guy with the ball is just fucking.
I think you're simplifying the game of basketball too much to say like a great shooter should be the GOAT.
No, I don't think he's the GOAT, but I'm saying
that. Like people watch it and it's like, yeah,
But I
Now
think
people
you
want
are
Jack of
also
threes.
forgetting that guy has 4 rings as well.
well, he has 2 rings because of who?
yeah. Then people can say what
That's
they want.
not as much as it's like whatever. It's not his fault that Kevin Durant signed there.
The thing is, for how great of a shooter he is,
I mean-
he wasn't in the 4 finals. Like, god damn, you could have put him for MVP and all those. It's like, for 3 of those, you really kind of stunk.
Yeah, no, for 3 of them, he was great.
You're like Iggy.
I mean, Iggy
3
won a
of them
Finals
for-
MVP.
And I would argue that Steph should have won that.
No shot.
I think
No.
Iggy played much better than Iggy usually plays, but he still did not play as well as Steph Curry played.
I think the NBA was like, God fucking damn it. We wanted this little asshole to win an Finals MVP, but he did not play well enough to win that MVP.
Because you could say change the game of basketball. I mean, how great was James Harden on his scoring runs of hitting threes?
Yeah, but
and
nobody
finishing at the rack?
nobody does the ISO with 4 guys standing around and plays like that. Like the way we're saying that people play now is like Like the 3-point shooting is way up. It's like it's up because it's the
Yeah.
Warriors in general, but
why
he's
is
the leader of that team.
Luka Doncic, who isn't a great 3-point shooter and who shoots like 35%, shooting 9 3-pointers a game.
Right.
And you can
'Cause
say
that's
that
the
though.
formula
Like,
now.
why did the Timberwolves lose? Oh, because your fucking center is 4 for 16 from 3.
I
rather
told
than
you
getting in
guys
the
that was
paint
gonna
and
happen.
bagging bodies.
No one wanted to listen to me.
Wembanyama, you saw that in the Olympics. What do you mean he's 2 for 18?
No,
oh,
that
he
guy's
shot
awesome.
he shot 14 threes. Yeah,
That
you're
dude
7
hooped.
foot tall. Get to the fucking bucket.
But you look at the Celtics, who just won the NBA Finals. They don't have a guy who plays over 10 minutes a game who can't shoot the 3-ball efficiently.
No, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's
the way
the way Steph
and they
changed
have
it in
2
general
7-footers that play over 10 minutes a game.
Yeah, the way Steph changed it in general was, and like I said, it's the Warriors too, but it's because he's the like if you had fucking
He's the face of the Warriors.
who was the Monte Ellis was on the Warriors and they were still, it wouldn't have been the same. But it just because how he, I mean, they didn't have Davidson. You're watching you're like this little fucker just scored 30 and got them to the Sweet 16, and he did it just shooting threes basically.
Well, it's crazy to see like the John Wall, the Monte Ellis types point guards, and those guys couldn't shoot for shit. It was like their athleticism got them to the rack, and then it's like, okay, if you got them outside of 15 feet, they're not scoring.
Right.
And then you have Steph, and it's like point guards nowadays. It's like, oh, I can leave him out. I mean, the guy at the summer league that was like 5'9", 5'10", I'm like, he can't shoot a jump shot. He's not making it in this
Right.
league.
It's over.
And the thing with Steph too is if he gets one step by you, he's got the mid range, the floater game. Like that's on, for all three
Yeah.
levels, he can score even at the rim. But he's like, he's a little
But
smaller.
I'm just
He's
saying,
not-
in terms of basketball players, and people throw him in the GOAT because of this shooting.
yeah, I would say
and
the GOAT
changing the
player.
game. But it's like you can name 10 players easily that you're taking over Steph.
Oh, I would. I'm just saying. But in terms of changing basketball to what it is, like Michael Jordan, it's like no one because he was just too good. But like LeBron, it's like well, no one's 6'8" and can pass like he like Steph. It's like well, I mean, if I practice threes enough and we have run an offense like that, and we all just jack up threes. Like we'll put up 130 a game. Like you can try
I think
to
if you
emulate
put Steph
that.
on any team ever, though, he makes them better because of his ability to do that.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, no one would say he doesn't.
And
What
also,
I would
like, if
say
you watch
is,
like those
If you put him on the Lakers team that Magic Johnson
This is
was
how
on,
good- this is
where
also
he
how
played
good
Game
he is.
7
That's what
center,
people-
he wouldn't have
in
won
the
that
gold medal
finals.
game, LeBron and KD were wide open on the wing, and they were double teaming Steph, and he still shot it and hit. That's how good.
And
Steph
not
Curry
one
is.
person was like, "Damn, that was just a heat check." They're
If he
like,
would have missed it,
"Fuck
they wouldn't
Steph
have been
Curry."
like, "He's fucking Kevin Durant."
yeah, but I've seen
No
players
one.
hit that shot before too
And what?
and make it.
And what about it?
Like you're
Like I said, Dame, it's a bad shot. Not one person. They were like, "Fucking this guy just can't miss."
see
Like,
Dame. I would taking that shot over Steph even. That guy
I
hits
mean, I can't
much
say
bigger
that.
much bigger shots than.
I wouldn't have him take. I wouldn't have anyone.
And then
take
we
a
saw the
three-point
finals
shot
where the
of any
Cavs won
caliber.
when they're up 3-1. Kyrie was hitting the big shots. And
I wouldn't
Oh,
have.
exactly.
I wouldn't have. If there's a 3-point shot in any predicament ever, I would have Steph Curry.
the
take it
only
over
reason,
everybody.
the only reason I would say Steph over like a Ray Allen is because if you just don't tell me, if you said catch and shoot, I'd say Ray Allen. But if you said you're down 3, down 2, and you need someone to
You need a
take
three-
a
you need a
3,
three-pointer.
I'd say Kevin Durant or Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just got to be one
yeah,
of those.
KD that pull
I
up
mean,
against the Cavs.
And that pull up in the Olympic right there at the, I think it was the gold medal game it was against Serbia. He literally someone went to set him a screen and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here." Took the dude, went to the left, literally did the AI crossover to the right, 1 foot inside the 3-point line, and D Wade was like, "He's not nice." As he shot the ball, it's like that's going in. That guy, like he's the way he can move at that height and the way he can shoot, play. It's like, dude, that's not fair.
Yeah,
Like I said, you can't emulate that type of play with Steph Curry. All I'm saying is you can try to be like, you know what, we'll just get more efficient with threes. We'll work on our 3-point game. You can't work on being 7'1" and dribbling like Kyrie Irving,
well,
shooting
Rudy
like
Gobert
Steph
wasn't
Curry,
7'1",
and driving
he
like
wouldn't be in the
LeBron.
league.
Right? Who?
Rudy Gobert wouldn't be in the league if he wasn't.
That's what I'm
7'1".
saying. Like you can do what Steph Curry does and be like, well, like Harden, it's like we just get you 1-on-1. You get enough space. You're a good enough shooter to do that. Like you can't just be like, hey, go be 7 feet tall and cross up this dude and shoot. And if he steps to you, take one step, turn around, jump shot. Like no one can do what KD or LeBron can do.
But it's like I saw like people are arguing like having a team of 5-on-5 of nowadays versus old days, and it's like Magic's the point guard. It's like, well, Steph's cooking Magic Johnson. It's like, no, Magic Johnson's a better
cooking
player.
Steph too. Those are for me. I'm almost over. I am over those conversations because it's like I said, you can't do that. Like,
And it's like even the point
like
guard
did you
conversation.
watch that video of the 1992 Olympics? It was you'd be like, oh, these guys just invented basketball yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
So it's like it's just what they played with.
And all
you know?
the USA players were at the end of their career too. People forget.
Yeah,
except for
if
Michael.
Magic came into the league today with the hype, like the same player, same shit he had, he'd be one of the all-time greats. Because he would obviously develop more of a jump shot, and it's like, well, he's 6. He's Luka Doncic, is
Larry
what he
Bird
is.
had
He's
a
literally
jump
Luka
shot.
Doncic.
So imagine if Larry Bird just doubled the amount of threes he shot. He'd be
Right,
that-
and he has
that
the
clip.
spacing they do. That's what
people forget
just
about
like
the
you
era.
can't do that.
Like when they look at lower field goal percentages or higher shot intakes, there's different things like with Kobe and AI. It's like you guys don't realize it's not this era of basketball with him playing like that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
They didn't
that
play,
era of basketball.
They didn't play the same game.
You could plug Steph into any era. I'll agree with that.
Right.
100%. He'll still be.
That's like saying
But he's so fast.
He'll still be an MVP candidate in any era.
That's like saying Patrick Mahomes has more passing yards than this guy.
Bart Starr.
Than Bart Starr. It's like, yeah, well, he played 5 less games and they ran the ball 300 times a year versus throw the ball. They threw the ball 15 times a game versus 40 times a game. It's a different game.
That's why I said when people say you really think fucking Patrick Ewing, it's like, bro, I mean, he played in 1990.
You see this
now?
thing?
It's 2024.
Patrick Ewing was the highest paid player for the most amount of seasons of anyone in their NBA career. So, like, he was, like, the highest paid player for, like, 14 out of 14 seasons, and no one else has had more seasons of the highest paid player, of being the highest paid player in the NBA.
It's everything like that. You're going to have people in certain eras where it's like they're just different, like, you know, but, like, yeah, dude, I think if you asked Michael Jordan to play in this era, he would be able to do that. Because, like, but you're asking...
A slashing power forward Patrick Ewing today is, like, what are we going to do with that?
Because he'd have a jump shot, too.
But that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be that.
You're trying to pull him from his era and put him here. It's like, well, yeah, dude, that's a different sport.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. You can't just, this guy who put up hook shots. It's like, well, that was what the game was. Like, that's what they played. And like he said with Bart Starr, it's like they ran fucking wing T offense.
And it's like, you put Kareem in this era. It's like, who's stopping that shot?
Mm-hmm.
Who's hitting that shot?
Like I said, Shaq. It's certain people like Shaq and stuff where it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if he played 2050,
I was going to say Shaq, you could put in 2095 and it'd
Okay.
be like he's still going to dominate the paint.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and Shaq doesn't shoot threes. It's like, am I going to take him out the game?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nowadays,
with the
spacing too, it's like now Shaq's just in there, literally all.
Yeah.
Not you put him in the center with us.
On the other side of the block.
You took the words out of my mouth. Take Al Horford out and put Shaquille O'Neal at center.
Yeah, Sam Hauser would be sitting there fucking. All right, let me put the ball down.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, you want to step out to me? Well, I'll just dump it back in.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll just pull up. Like, that's what. It's
we got
just all
double
different.
team Shaq, and then we have
2 guys on the wings, 2 guys on the corners. Throw it to Shaq right when he hits the block, and it's like, well, good luck.
And who's guarding him? That lively.
And that should be Joel Embiid, but that little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The problem with a Joel Embiid, a Victor Wembanyama, and everything like that. It's like, get in the block when you have 4 shooters around you.
Well, Victor's a little too skinny for the block. He's just bigger. But like Joel, I was talking to Danny, and I'm like, the reason this USA team is kind of struggling in the early going. Dude, the games where he was down low and the last game where he was like those little 10-foot mid-range jump shots, I'm like, dude, you need to live there. When you're standing at the top of the key with LeBron, Kevin Durant, it's like, dude, there's too many of us out
If he ever asked for the ball outside of 10 feet, 15 feet from the hoop, I would take him out of the game.
Well, that
one in Serbia, he was fucking kind of cooking. I was like, all right.
Between like, okay, the shot clock's running down and he has to catch it at the elbow and put it up. It's like, okay, because he couldn't get the ball early enough in the shot clock to get down.
With 15 seconds when he's standing at the top of the key, get inside.
Once a quarter, I'll have you, instead of pick and roll, pick and pop. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like KG. That nice little pick and pop he would do a rondo all the time.
That's it.
And everybody would say, like, that's an inefficient shot. He should step back for 3. Why, he hits it 50% of the time.
I will say, though, thinking now, if he played that way, he would be a step back.
He would step back and hit the 3.
But but the game, no one even thought, like I said, till Steph came in, no one thought like that.
It's like if you watch that detail of Kobe on the fast break, there's 3-on-2. And they pass the corner 3. He goes, I would have got pulled out the game if you do that. But it's a different generation. You go to the hoop. You get to the closest to the hoop possible is the most efficient shot, the highest percentage.
I do love how Ant did that with Steph, and Steve Kerr was pissed about it one time. And I'm like, your team made this up. So why the fuck
created this?
Why are you mad? Right? Like, because when Steph does it and hits a shot, he does a little breath, and this guy's incredible. But when you miss it, you can't be an asshole when you miss it. But when you make it, just like, well, that's
it can't be accettable when it's made and unacceptable when it's not.
That's how you run it or not. I mean, like, as a Celtics
I hate
fan,
Steve Kerr.
So do I.
I've decided, fuck him.
I could never stand that fucking guy.
It's kind of like he walked into, when he became the coach of that team was already built and already great. And
Mark Jackson.
And then he just kind of like, it's kind of like how people say John Gruden's a great coach. It's like he kind of became the coach of a great team and maybe took him a little step up, and Steve Kerr maybe took him a little step up. But it's like, no.
If we put Steve Kerr on the Pacers, they're not beating Boston because he's the coach.
No.
If you put him on the Cavs when the Warriors won, they're not winning because they traded Steve Kerr for whoever the fuck was coaching.
There's not many coaches in the history of basketball like that, only the special ones. Like, and in this era right now,
if you say Joe Mazzulla, I'll kill you.
I was going to say Eric Spoelstra could make any team better. I would say Popovich could make a team better if he has it. But even Popovich, we see him struggling lately. It's like he has nothing.
What's the dude's name from the Nuggets back in the day? George Karl. That guy will fucking rally the troops.
Yeah, there's some good coaches out there, and some can't fully get the job. But even like Mike Budenholzer, who's only gotten the job done once, put him on any team, he's going to get him to the playoffs.
When he got to the Hawks,
He drastically changed him.
And I think too.
Same with the Bucks.
Missoula's in that spot that Spoelstra was in early in his career.
He's too early to say.
Brad Stevens.
But
There's a lot of
the
guys.
problem with Missoula is his team's so good. It's like, okay, we got to see.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet and everything like that. But I will say, like, for a great team like the Warriors, the Celtics, the Heat, it's like you can't put any coach on that, though, and do it, though.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be a coach that can manage the egos and get them to play and everything like that. Because it's like, the Heat Big Three didn't win it their first year.
I'll tell you what, I don't think the Heat, since LeBron and that Big Three, have had the minerals to go do anything special. And
finals?
And I think Spoelstra has outdone himself.
Well, he has.
I think he's the best. I would put him as the best coach in the NBA right now.
I remember, and he should be
I
coaching
said
Team
to you
USA.
guys, why was he not the head coach? Or even I like Mark. I like when a college guy does it because those guys know how to get. Think about it. College guys get a guy in a transfer portal, whatever. They figure out how to put those together. Those dudes' job is to get random fucking kids to come in and play well together.
Random 5-stars.
The only thing I'll say is he doesn't watch them all season and like see their playing styles as much. But like Steve Kerr just got it because he was the coach of the Warriors. He should have been on that fucking staff at all. That guy's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like I said, the guy's first team All NBA, highest paid player in the league. And that guy can't get a minute in the game.
You're telling me
Go
there's
fuck
not
yourself.
15 coaches that you could take, that you could remove Steve Kerr and put 15 different coaches on those Warriors teams that won all 4 of those rings and they don't do the same thing?
Well, the two with KD, you could have put a broomstick on the fucking bench and they would have won it.
Yeah.
With that being said,
Let's get on
college football.
Football, baby.
College football, the top 25 came out AP poll. I could start with the trivia, but we'll just list off the top 10. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss at 6.
I think Ole Miss and Oregon surprised me a little bit there, but go ahead.
Why Oregon?
I think that's a bit high.
They're fucking good.
They're good, but that's a bit high.
Notre Dame at 7, Penn State at 8, Michigan at 9 surprised me, and Penn State at 8, Florida State.
That's what I'm
at 10.
saying. I know we're going based on what we're looking into, but I think Michigan should still be. I mean, they just won the national championship after an undefeated season.
They suck.
After being 15-1 the season prior or 14-1 the season prior.
They suck.
I get that they're sucking, that they lost their head coach, that they lost their quarterback, that they lost their running back, that they lost all the important.
That's huge.
They lost everything, but it's just like the preseason rankings, I think, have to go a lot of based on what we are coming off of. And there's other teams in here, too, that I'm like, they're a bit lower than I thought. There's some lower than I thought they'd be and some higher than I thought they'd be. I hate Brian Kelly. I thought I'd see LSU higher than 13. I hate Dabo Sweeney. I honestly thought if we're talking about they suck, they look good, Clemson looks better than 14th going into the season. They always fuck it.
I think Utah should be higher.
Here's another team that what I was more so talking about with Oregon. I think they should be behind both the teams below them, Texas and Alabama.
No. Alabama, their coach, it's just like Oregon, I think you're going to be surprised this year when you watch them.
No, I'm not. I mean, they were a team that was a game away from making the Natty, or making the college football playoff rather, and they look better and all this and that. Now, like they lost Knicks, they got Dante Moore.
Yeah,
and all that. Like
their quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel. Guy's a fucking
Dylan
dog,
Gabriel. They
dude.
had Dante Moore behind him, I think. But like, I'm not surprised that Oregon's a great team. Some of the rankings surprised me a little bit.
Teams: Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State. You gotta fucking beat somebody. I mean, we get into the upper echelon Notre Dame because we're fans of Notre Dame, and we lose every fucking year to the big teams. Ole Miss. I mean, last year they were 10-2. They got their dicks kicked in by Georgia and Alabama. Penn State. I mean, how the fuck is James Franklin still coaching that? That guy's the most hyped up piece of shit.
I saw a stat. It was records versus top 25 teams, and his was like 14-32.
No, he is fucking.
It was
horrible.
abysmal.
But a lot of people joke because they're like, your stadium wears white, and the people, and like, I do think that college football's home field advantage is obviously very big, but like, they hype up the Penn State. It's like, well, when your team sucks though, your quarterback can't throw, and your coach doesn't know when to fucking use a timeout. It doesn't matter how loud your crowd is.
Coaches versus the top 25 teams.
All right. The guy from Alabama who came from Washington, that dude's won every.
Kalen DeBoer is 12-2.
I was gonna say 14-2.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was.
That guy's unbelievable.
Kirby Smart's 33-12.
That's great.
Very good.
Ryan Day is 18-8.
It's better than I thought it'd be for Ryan Day.
69%.
But also, their top 25 teams are like Iowa and Penn State.
Iowa, I will say, people shit on them. If they're in that conversation every year, top 25, they're doing fine for their program. They know who they are. Yeah. Iowa. They know who they are.
You will not score on us, and you will run.
They're going to put up 9 points, but you're only going to score 6.
Yeah, and you have about 3 guys. You better have those stretchers ready because people are fucking leaving that game fucking hurt.
Dabo Swinney's 39-24.
Good.
Lincoln Riley's
again. Sorry,
worse than I thought.
Sorry, 39-24, and it's another one of those that I have to mention in that conversation with the last guy where it's ACC top 25. So it was shitty Florida State teams. It was shitty Miami teams. It was, fucking Pittsburgh's ranked 24th playing Clemson, and then they lose by 7. Syracuse when they were ranked. It's these teams, even Notre Dame with Brian Kelly and whatnot, they just beat the shit out of us last year. It's like,
that's why I don't take it into account. It's more of a when you play Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama.
Kirby Smart and fucking what's his name, Nick Saban. Their record versus top 25. Take a look at that because they're playing fucking tough top 25 games.
Well, I'll just tell you the SEC is the best.
Lincoln Riley's 17-12.
That's impressive, but again,
no, it's not.
Dan Lanning from Oregon is 7-5.
Yeah, but
Brian Kelly's dead even.
Brian Kelly's 34-34.
Yeah,
but he will win you 10 games in a year, so you have to blow him.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Heupel from Tennessee is 9-10. James Franklin 14-23.
You'd think that guy's 23-0 the way they talk about that guy. That guy fucking is horrible.
And then Mike Norvell from Florida State's 8-16.
Is he really? But I think he's a good coach. But he isn't I don't know. I mean, it's just tough because, like I said,
I think the coach that was the toughest was it Miami coach. They were 5-0, and he fucked it at the
Mario
end of the game.
Cristobal.
Mario Cristobal.
Well, was that the end of the game?
He didn't need the ball.
He didn't need the ball,
He
right?
ran it and they fumbled it and
And
lost
then
it and
they
they
lost, like,
lost.
4 or 5 games in a row.
And then they were 5-0 or 6-0. Let's call them 5-0. And then all of a sudden they lose that game, go 5-1 when they should have been 6-0, and then they were like 5-6.
Why did he do that?
I have no idea what
wasn't
happened.
He fired?
He should have been fired a long time before
that.
He decided to leave Oregon. He should have been fired at Oregon, and then he somehow got the Miami job, and he should have been fired before he got that.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand the rationale behind that.
That's a fireable offense.
He's another one of those pieces of shit, too, that got a bunch of dudes to come to Oregon and made a bunch of promises and then said, actually, I'm taking the Miami job.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
That's the worst thing I think a coach could do in terms of college football. Mm-hmm. And then you have like
Brian Kelly's the king of that.
Coach JB, where he's like, you just have these players entering the transfer portal. I'm like, you have your coaches entering the transfer portal every fucking year.
That's why some of these guys, I love Coach JB.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
You have to talk. You have to give both people the shit when it comes to that. Because Cristobal did. They said Brian Kelly was at a guy's fucking house, left, and the guy turns on the news and he just accepted a job at LSU. And it's like, you just left my house with my family.
Trying to get me to come to Notre Dame.
Yeah. And then you know what you do to your coaching staff? Like, don't like Tommy Rees, not a fan of him whatsoever, but him and Marcus Freeman have to then leave their homes, fly on a plane to go back across the country to all these recruits and everything.
No, exactly.
And say, our program's stable. Don't worry about it.
Right, yeah, like we're still here, we're not leaving and shit. But
knock on wood, but Marcus Freeman does not seem like that type of guy to me. He seems like he has the player's best intentions in mind.
The only job I'm worried about is Ohio State, but I could see him.
Because Ryan Day's a little.
If Ryan Day loses to Michigan, he's out this year.
But I don't see Marcus even at that. If he takes Ohio State, all power to him. I don't think he would take it in a piece of shit manner like that.
No,
I think he would be right about it. But
he would say, "Boys, I'm going to try to take Ohio
If we lose
State.
to Texas A&M
week 1,
get the fuck out."
Yeah,
I can't do the same. I want a guy who's going to come in. Get me Urban fucking Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Get me Urban back.
I'm fine with break. That was I put the Michigan sanctions down there because one, you punish the guy when he's left for the NFL.
He doesn't give a fuck. You think the NFL cares about that? They don't give a fuck what Jim Harbaugh.
I mean, that's like
there.
a job. My first job calling me and saying, "Hey, we caught you doing all this.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna fine."
Yeah, that's like McCarran Airport calling me up and saying you're suspended for fucking 2 years from working here.
Let's say here. How's that for you?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You think the NFL gives a fuck that he did that?
Yeah,
but I will say,
a fuck.
Whatever they're doing, Notre Dame needs to start doing.
Oh, I'm all for cheating and hurting people.
I'm sick of this
steroids.
shit.
I want a championship. Even if they take it away in 10 years,
will go,
I'll have the glory now.
What a piece of shit Bill Belichick is. I'll tell you right now. If I'm head coach of an NFL team, I'm doing everything I can to steal one of your plays, to injure one of your players. I would say, Tom, you don't want to do some steroids?
Did you see what happened with the Michigan thing? How did that happen? One of their coaches has a Minnesota beanie hoodie on their sideline with a headset. How did that happen? No one looked and said, this guy hasn't coached us all year.
Who the fuck are you?
Who is this guy? Did you see the picture?
No.
Dude, he's standing on the game with a fucking clipboard in his hand. How did nobody notice this?
Coach, let me see that play sheet real quick.
Bro, I have to look this up. I'm like, that's their fault.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
Speaking of play sheets of the Mike Leach, his trick, I think it was Texas, Oklahoma, when he was the offensive coordinator for one of them.
Mm-mm.
So he was offensive coordinator. This is when he was younger. And he was running, like doing a little jog around the field. And he dropped his play sheet on let's say the Texas sideline. I'm probably ruining the story. And they pick it up.
It's a fake one.
This is their first 50 plays. So the defensive coordinator has it. And he's like, but he's like, this isn't what they're calling. And about after the first 10 plays,
he's like,
he luckily picked up on it.
It's 7-0.
And they went down and scored. And people were like, Are you reading the thing? Is don't tell me to read that fucking play sheet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
clearly a fake and shit like that. But I was like, what a genius move.
Here's the
though.
thing: people go, if you can get away with it, why aren't you doing it? If
Yeah.
you're dumb enough to have me sitting on the sideline in a coaching gear with a headset on and a play sheet in my hand, and you go, this fucking guy has never been a part of our program for fucking.
This guy's not on the staff.
I have no idea who that is. As a matter of fact, it looks like Coach McLaughlin from fucking the other team over there. And it's like, if you can get away with that, why wouldn't you get away with that?
Send it to me after, Eric, so I can put it on.
The crazy shit is like, and it sucks because I'm a Dodger fan, so I hate like, you know, the wires in the fucking Astro. Like that's, but it is what it is. If you can get away with it, you can get away
This
with
guy is pretending to be a Central Michigan coach at the Michigan State game. Look at this. Nobody, like, they had to pay Central Michigan to get. He has equipment from the team.
This is a Michigan coach.
I think so. That's what the picture came
Central
out.
Michigan State game.
Yes.
Oh man.
That's
It looks
awesome.
like Mac from It's Always Sunny.
Dude, his fucking sunglasses on, like they're gonna. No, I was like,
it was
that's
like-
what they get.
What like Bill Belichick was doing with like certain guys lined up a certain way and he's eligible but he's ineligible and shit like that, and the Ravens were mad about it. It's like it's in the rule book.
Yeah,
Don't be
exactly.
mad at him.
This is the guy.
That is fucking.
That's the same guy on another.
Send me both picks.
I will. But with that, I have some trivia. I read that and I looked and I'm like, if he's on another team's side, this is more the other team's
Right.
fault. This
It's
is
like
bad strategy.
Andy Reid sitting in the Dallas Cowboys uniform,
Yeah,
and
like-
you're like, it's fucking Andy, isn't it?
Dude, I was pissing my pants.
The sunglasses and the fake nose.
Yeah,
on.
I was
Yeah.
pissing my pants. So since 2004, every NCAA champion except for 2 was in the preseason AP top 7. So read the preseason AP top 7. Right.
Right now, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame.
So since 2004, only 2 teams that weren't in the top 7 have won the national championship.
So 20 years, last 20 years.
They both had Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks.
What are the teams?
Yes.
Florida State with Jameis Winston.
Bang.
That was the first thing off the top of my head too.
Oregon with Marcus Mariota.
They didn't win it.
Cam Newton, Auburn.
Bam.
Fuck. That was a good job.
Bang.
So you
Oh, they
either
didn't
need-
win it. They lost to
them.
Florida State.
No, they
No.
lost to I think-
Auburn? It was one of the two.
Yeah.
Auburn
Maybe
beat
Zeke's
No,
Ohio
Darren
State.
Mariota
Thomas.
went after Jameis. So it was that.
Zeke's Ohio State, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
One of those teams.
But you're either in the top 7 or you're not in the top 7, but you have the Heisman winner. So what I'll say for betting purposes, if you see a guy who's jumping in the Heisman and their team's not in the top 7, take their championship odds. If it's good odds, throw a flyer at it.
Mhm.
Because they have a chance to win it with the 12 team. I guess this year it's a little
With
different.
that being said, predict your championship winner in the top 7.
I mean, for me, it's one of the top 3.
And so it is for me as well.
But college football is very top.
I'm going to go out on a fucking crazy limb here. I like Bama.
I do that, coach. But first year it's going to be tough. But that guy's
For me, it's any of the top 5.
what's his name? Not Shane Steichen. What's his name?
From
Guy
Mid
from
Washington.
I just said it for the things, huh? Fuck.
I know.
Dan Bedore.
No,
The
I
boy.
forget his name.
that guy's awesome. He was one everywhere he's went.
Yeah, his overall coaching record, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's about 116-6 or something like
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
where
unbelievable.
it's close to that though.
I'm going to say Georgia wins it, and they beat Ohio State.
that. I
It's
do like
so
Georgia.
stupid
I
to
think
say.
Georgia wins it as well.
They beat Ohio State or Oregon.
But
Texas, I
my
think-
I was going to say Texas is
they've lost too much.
my outlier little Kalen DeBoer.
Kalen DeBoer, that guy's a weapon. My outlier, if I had to pick one, it's just hard because you know who my outlier is?
His overall coaching record is 104-12.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. You'll never believe my outlier, and it will never
In
happen.
tournaments, college football playoff, he's 1-1. Bowls, he's 2-1. In overall tournaments, NIAI playoffs, 17-2.
No, in NIAI, he was fucking running.
Yeah, that's where he ran.
He's
up
been
his
amazing.
wreck, but
No, he's won everywhere.
he's
He's
went
won.
everywhere.
My outlier would be the Utah Utes. They're going to win the Big 12, I think. They'll get a home game, a couple
Yeah,
of home
outlier, I
games.
guess, should be outside the top 7.
No, it doesn't have to. Texas, they lost Byron Murphy. They lost 2 or 3. Their best, the thing they were best at last year was stopping the run.
He went 10-3 at Fresno State as well.
He's amazing. I'm telling you, he's
Yeah.
amazing. Texas is the thing that Texas was best at last year was stopping the run. They lost Byron Murphy. They lost too many pieces. And I don't think Steve Sarkisian. Can you imagine that guy hoisting the national championship
No.
trophy up? There's no fucking shot.
Not sober.
I mean, if he's drunk, I'm okay with it if he's drunk. I don't give a fuck what the
My
guy is.
outlier will be Clemson.
Okay, I mean,
Weak
that's fine.
conference, stacked team. I think any year they could do it. Let me take a look at their schedule. You know who they play week 1
Who?
on August 31st?
Who's that?
Clemson.
Oh, I do, and I'm already betting.
And you know where they play?
I'm betting the other team.
Oh, they're gonna be 0-1 to start. So I picked a bad fucking winner because they're playing Georgia. in the fucking Thunderdome.
What do you think the spread of that would be?
I haven't looked at it.
What do you think it should be, and what do you think it is?
In Georgia,
yeah,
I would go as far. I would say 13.5.
You're an idiot.
But
it's 14.
It's 14.
It should be 28. They are going to.
I think it should be 13.5.
Based off of what?
That was a good guess.
Clemson is horrible.
I don't think it should be 28 against Clemson.
I will put down 28.
I got Georgia winning by 20 or more.
They'll win by 3.
I think they'll win by 20 to 24.
That
if I was making the spread, I would make it 13.5.
If I was making the spread, I would do 21.5.
That's crazy.
Dabo Swinney
It's a lot of people jumping on Clemson at plus 21.5.
Well, and guess what? I'd be
sports books are winning.
I'd be sitting there eating money. I could be wrong. I don't think so. What Georgia's returning and
preseason, the only other team they play that's ranked preseason is NC State.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, Florida State.
What has Clemson besides having Trevor Lawrence, who's one of the best college quarterbacks? It was just T. Higgins, all these guys. Deshaun Watson. When he hasn't had a top quarterback in college, I don't say history, but one of the top recruits of their year
in his college football history.
He sucked.
A top quarterback in the NFL.
Who's their quarterback this year? If it's Klubnik, I mean, what are we talking about? If it's him, make it 48.5.
Yeah.
I saw 14 and I was like, oh well, I'm betting week 1.
Yeah.
Bill, do you have an outlier?
Well, my pick would be Alabama.
It's Klubnik.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
it's
picking
Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik.
Bro, 14?
Yeah.
You've watched that dude play.
He does suck.
He's horrible. In Georgia?
And they lost a lot of their great guys too.
Bro, that's what colleges to start the season. Michigan's only where they're at. So is Penn State because of who the AP poll thinks they are.
Mm-hmm.
If Michigan played Georgia this year,
Clemson always has a stacked amount of like 5- and 4-star players.
Their defense will be cool.
Great, yeah.
For sure. But they lost Venable, and I mean their defense hasn't been as good either. I don't know. I just think they're overrated, and I will be hammering Georgia.
A&M, Florida State, and USC are the only 3 preseason ranked teams that Notre Dame plays.
What else do they got?
That are what?
A&M, Florida State, and USC are the 3 preseason ranked teams that Notre Dame plays.
I just want to see the schedule.
It's pretty weak this year.
Honestly, my outlier could be USC.
Look, because if you look at right after A&M, you got Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, and Navy. You should be 7-1 at worst with the A&M game.
We've got to be in the top 12. We're favored by 1 in that game.
Because even if you're 7-2 after Florida State, then you're 8-9-2 going into USC. Come on,
if Riley Leonard sucks, man, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
That's the only thing where if we were rolling with the young guys and lost, it's like, all right, we're rolling with.
See, that's what I like about the young guys, though, is you don't know. It gives you hope as like, dude, this guy might be the Heisman Trophy winner
next year.
Riley Leonard's not going to be.
Not even that, but it's like, you know what he is.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't run the ball, he can't stand in the pocket.
My thing is, when we got Riley Leonard, I was like, I didn't see anything from him where I was like, this is it. This is the guy.
When I was Sam Hartman, I was like, yeah.
I thought it was the guy too, Sam Hartman.
The Ohio State game, I mean, 10 players on the field. What the fuck are we doing?
I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, that type of shit's got to be fixed.
Then towards the end of the year, though, Sam Hartman started to come down back to earth.
Right.
Which was unfortunate.
Start of the year, it was like,
we played Navy.
This is everything we thought it was going to be.
Touchdowns, and I was piss hammered.
Yeah.
Basically, like we won the national championship.
Yeah. He still throws a great ball.
You guys good on college?
Yeah.
NFL real quick. For the NFL today, we're going to pick our division winners for the season, obviously. Let me see. Let me get to my...
I started with the offseason, the Brandon Aiyuk saga.
Yeah. Brandon Aiyuk is being a fucking piece of shit, in my opinion. The Patriots offered him $32 million a year. He didn't want to go there and play there.
He would have been the third salary-wise highest paid player in the NFL as wide receivers go.
The Steelers and Niners are in. They have agreed to a trade, but it's like at a certain point, bro, you're getting told by every team what the market is, but you can't tell us who you want to go to and how much you want to make when these teams aren't doing this, and then also not play for our team.
Yeah, some guys it's just like
he should be getting fined every day. They should not pay him back the fines because this is like Michael Lombardi was saying. Like I was telling Uncle Alec this. These GMs are like scared to fine these guys and not make them pay the fines. Your CBA with your players union agreed to these fines and this negotiation. You know what's happening if you don't show up.
Right.
But then they just know after this they'll pay it back. And it's like, dude, fuck you. I'm not paying you back. Like, because what happens like CeeDee Lamb, if he has a small tissue injury, we paid him back and he's still making his money. The reason that happened is because he wasn't here working when he was supposed to be.
I don't give a fuck what the reason is. It's in the contract. Go fuck yourself. I'm not paying you.
Right. It's in your contract too. If you do this, if that's like Jerry Jones saying you received for 1,000 yards this year, but I think it was too much till we renegotiate. I'm not paying you that. Like, you're not playing when you're getting paid, and like that. I just don't like that.
It's
Also, Brandon Aiyuk's like the 10th best wide receiver in the league.
He's very much the beneficiary of his team, and he's
Debo,
trying to.
Kittle.
But 32, how greedy are you? 32 million, or even whatever the Niners are. If it's 25, like how greedy are you?
It reminds me of Mr. Deeds when the quarterback wants more money.
Yeah.
He's like, so if you play bad, can I take money from you? He's like, no. He goes, well, good luck finding another team.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example because it's like, dude, like, and especially now, it's like, bro, you're fucking the locker room. You're fucking, with you're not out here with us. I know it's the same.
You said it best with the greedy thing too, because I always think that when certain guys like Dak, like they said he could hold out and make over $70 million. It's like, first of all, in his career, he's probably already made $200 million. So what's the difference? Like, it's $20 million, $50 to $70 million. Over a 5-year span, though, is $250 added to your already $200 million not enough fucking money for you?
Right. Like, especially like to be known as a fucking loser in terms of the sport you play. Like, you're just known as a loser.
And I get it because it's all like, well, go fuck yourself. I mean, I made $350 million instead of $250 million, so I'm happier with that. But it's like,
you said money doesn't matter though.
I just would. And then it's like the sitting out and the holding out too. It's like, you're holding out when I want to give you $50 million, but you want 70.
Yeah, the Hason Reddick thing. You know that?
I was just going to transition to the
that guy. The Jets are the worst. They did a handshake deal when they traded for him, basically, and said, we will get this contract done. Don't ever do that. Who's the guy that the Brian Burns that went to the Eagles from them? Mm-hmm. They didn't franchise tag him when they had every right to. You can franchise tag a guy. He's still on your team. They could have franchise tagged him, traded him for Hason Reddick, and got the contract done. Didn't do any of that. Let him walk to fucking Philadelphia free as a free agent or whatever, or they traded him for whatever they got for him. But they didn't get Hason Reddick back in that deal, never got his contract done, and now they've lost twice, basically. So I'm like, I don't understand what the Jets were doing. And then with him, he's not, the way his contract works, he can't get his fines back. And I'm like, you're losing $50,000 a day, you're 30 years old, and they still own your rights next year when you're 31. You're costing yourself more money than you're making by doing this. Like, what are you doing?
I'll tell you what, who made a great move today was in the draft. The Falcons, everyone was like, they're going to go O-line or D-line because they need help on both. They especially need help with a pass rusher. And they went Michael Penix, and everyone said, what the fuck? And today they traded for Matthew Judon for only a third-round pick.
That is crazy.
That's a great to go, fuck, we didn't fill that pass rusher
in
the draft and go, well, we did better. We got, instead of some dude, everyone was talking about the UCLA guy who has a bunch of injuries, instead of some injury-prone first-round pick, we gave up a third-round pick for a top 5 pass rusher.
I think Matthew Judon is one of the best.
Any third round pick you're going to get.
Any third round pick you're going to get. I think probably any first round pick you would have got at 9th overall. Or whatever Penix went to. I think it was 9th.
Knowing what he was, 8th or 9th.
Yeah, I think they won there.
And the thing too is like, I'm not going to give them this much credit, but you have no idea what discussions they had maybe about trading for one already.
You don't want to give them I get what you're saying, to where you don't want to go, no, like, well, we already knew we were going to get Judon.
They had the foresight of it, but you don't know that they didn't.
They might trade and pay for Hason Reddick right now and go, well, I'll shut the fuck up, because if Penix ends up being the guy there too, it's like, what did you?
Or if Cousins gets hurt and Penix steps in and hoops, it's like,
which he came off an Achilles tear, didn't he?
They filled off everything.
Yeah.
Last thing that I have with the Patriots, Drake May played one drive and threw 3 passes. They let Bailey Zappi play like the second half. You know what Bailey Zappi is. Right. You're not going to let Drake May play this year.
Let's get one more look at Bailey Zappi.
You're not going to let Drake May play this year as far as at least the first half of the season. So give him reps in the preseason.
Right.
What the fuck? I don't know. This Gerard Mayo thing, and I love Bill Belichick, but I just feel like you are going to wake up in a whole new world of, fuck.
But at least they traded their best pass rusher today for a third-round pick.
Well, that's why, like I said, last year, Gerard Mayo said, I don't run offense or defense. I let my guys do that. And I'm like, whoa, man, you are for a rude awakening if,
What's
this
your
doesn't go.
Opinion on that, on playing your starters in the preseason? I think you should.
It depends on, who it is, but I think they should at least play.
I don't see a point of Dak Prescott playing when he's been in the same system for multiple years and he's been in the league.
Aaron Rodgers should play. Joe Burrow should play.
I would argue Russell Wilson should play.
Russell Wilson, like Danny said, if you're Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy,
Patrick Mahomes,
Joe Burrow.
Even Joe Burrow's coming off injury. Give him a couple snaps.
He should get some throws. I would say everyone should play a little bit.
Joe Burrow,
2 drives.
2 drives throughout the whole preseason.
In the last game.
That can't hurt you.
I think every player, though. Like even like the Chiefs have a bunch of new weapons. Don't you think Patrick Mahomes and them should
Yeah, that's
You
what I
get a
said.
drive in there.
Two
drive
drives.
two in there? That's what I'm saying. When I
But
say
they got
play your
the- they got-
starters,
they kinda
should
got
at
the-
least get 2 drives a game.
Yeah.
But for on Mahomes, it's really up to him because he's Patrick Mahomes. And it's also like you have the live practices, like you saw Matt Stafford make that play against us.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And it's like those kind of like a Matt Stafford's a great example of a guy who's kind of injury prone and this and that, where he's like, Cooper Kupp's back. Do you guys want to click? He's like, I got the live practices to click. We'll be fine.
That's true.
That's what, because the live practices sometimes are, I don't want to say better, but it's
You don't want sorry to interrupt you, but you don't want some third round rookie coming off the edge in the preseason taking Matt Stafford's head off.
No. But what I'll say is, too, is like Aaron Donald, if he was still playing, I don't want him playing in the preseason.
No.
The guy, no. Like I said, one drive, maybe, but even then, like the practices, Aaron
guess
Donald's a professional. He knows how to get ready for the
I think
season.
for starters, it's more important on the offensive side than the defensive side.
I would say
Stroud played, yeah?
Who?
Stroud?
No,
One drive.
his first game.
The Hall of Fame game is an extra game.
Yeah,
I
that doesn't
agree
really
with
count.
that. Whatever. There's 4 games till everyone plays 3,
Yeah,
and the Hall of Fame gives you a 4th.
yeah.
I would say the first game, I don't give a fuck. The next 2, you should play a drive, and I would say the last one you should play a little more because it's like, hey, this is it. We're going now.
If I was, I'll give you the example again of Russell Wilson, I would want to play the first 2 drives of the last game.
Did you see what he did?
Mm-mm.
He's hurt, not playing. He's wearing full pads and a helmet on the sideline. I mean, this guy's a fucking nerd. A literal
he
nerd.
pisses me off.
Literally,
He makes
somebody
it hard on himself. to
somebody
like him.
texted Tone Diggs and he said 7, which is Ben Roethlisberger, would be on the sideline with a towel around his neck and a Snickers in his hand.
Yeah.
This he's going through a
The
pregame.
shit on the Broncos that pissed me off the most, all the little antics and stuff. The thing that literally what I would have got up and punched him in the face if I was on that team was when he was like, everybody get up, and when they play I want everyone screaming pass or run like it's Pop Warner. I seriously would have said, you're fucking 6 of 29 today. I'm punching you square in the face.
I disagree with that take because I'm okay with the pass run thing.
No.
What I'm not
This
okay
is
with
this is not middle school.
Yeah, but it's a team thing where it's 50 in the NFL. It's not 100 guys like college. You're 51 of 53. You really do have to be the best of the best. Be engaged in the fucking game.
Yeah.
Not that, but when he was on Seattle pre-game, not playing, sitting like he's in a huddle calling plays and with no ball, anything, that's ridiculous.
I know.
That's
type of
Jameis
shit.
Winston trolling
Levels.
Yeah, but
level
Jameis is
shit.
fucking around. I feel
Right.
like
What did he
all the
say?
time.
Scooby Whoop Bop?
You could knick-knack a paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Who's the starting quarterback? Where's he at?
He's in Cleveland.
But
I was gonna say before this, but after I saw that, I would put money that he starts more than a few games, if not any of the season, as their starter.
I
on Cleveland
love
Browns.
that system for him as well.
So do I. Do you know who a coach on their staff is?
Hmm.
On their defensive staff?
Is it great?
Oh, yeah.
And what part of the staff is he?
He's defensive.
Assistant,
He's a
maybe?
defensive. What do you call that? Like, I don't know the word, but he's basically like giving you ideas for
He's not
defense.
really on the staff. He's just like a.
He won't be there.
Kind of
on
like what's his name was for us.
He already told them I won't be there on the weekends. It's a personal thing. Mike Vrabel.
Oh,
The Browns are sneaky this year,
Oh, I did not know that.
dude. But he won't be there.
And that's a team that has a roster on defense.
Tone and Gumpy were like, this guy won't be on the sideline, and Gumpy was like, we can't get him on the booth on
Who's their
Sundays.
defensive coordinator?
Oh man, who is their DC?
Better be something special.
I mean, he's got to be good because their defense is good.
Even like, I want to look at who their defensive assistant is, who their linebackers coach is. Because if your DC defensive assistant linebackers coach isn't someone that's worthy of being above Jim Schwartz.
I mean,
Okay,
the Browns might be fucking here. If
So-
they,
their quarterback.
Here's
is
the thing with the
most-
Browns, and I was going to get into this with the division things, which we should probably jump into right now.
Jump into 'em.
Okay,
Start with
good.
the AFC North.
Let's start with the AFC North. So I'll start with this. The Browns. They're a team this is what I was going to say about them before we even just had this conversation. On paper, it's like this team could make it to the AFC ship or make it out of the AFC. They but could win the North. They could do this, they could do that. And then every year it's like last year they had a great record after Deshaun Watson left and Flacco was the comeback player of the year. And they were the 5 seed who was favored in a game against the 4 seeded Texans who won their division, and they got fucking smoked. The Browns are, if there's ever a cursed team, it's the Browns.
well, Flacco had 2 picks that game, 1 pick 6.
That's what I'm saying. They just
back-to-back plays.
every single time it's like we're talking right now about Vrabel, Jim Schwartz, Stefanski, Deshaun Watson's healthy, Jameis Winston. We like the system for them. He'll probably play because Watson's always getting hurt, but we like it.
You know who their third quarterback is?
Is it the rookie or the second year player, Dorian
So
Thompson?
DTR's there. You know who else is there?
Who?
Fucking Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley. That quarterback room is fucking here.
And it's
like it's a Pro Bowler.
It's 4 mobile quarterbacks. Winston's the least mobile of all of them. Black. And they kind of are. They're all in the same guy in the same system. So it's like if we drop this guy and then we drop that guy and then we drop, they're all learning and they're all this. I love that for Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
I mean,
Yeah.
If you're gonna learn your style with your style behind anybody, it should be those three guys.
Just don't go get massages with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
No.
don't hang out with Deshaun too much, or probably Jameis. I don't know what's going on with him.
the problem with the
Like he's on
quarterbacks
straight
is
and
they're
narrow.
going to have it be 3, right? So Snoop's got to be out.
I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
He's too young.
I think they take 3 on the active roster and Dorian Thompson-Robinson's
practice squad.
Is that okay?
We
I
can-
thought you do 2
It's a lot
and
of
then
quarterbacks.
one on the
That's a lot of quarterbacks.
one on the practice squad.
You know who
When
had
I
a-
was younger, it used to always be a guaranteed 3.
I think now with the extra games they might too.
Now that they've gone up,
where's
it turned into 2. Which is weird.
Slovis at? There was a
Keaton Slovis?
yeah.
Dude, that guy's a
I'm a
fucking
big proponent
dog.
of the quarterback being the holder.
Look at that quarterback
special
room.
teams
I was like,
on field
ooh,
goals,
this is
too.
interesting. A lot of college names.
It's not Indianapolis, is it?
Yes, it is. So they have Richardson, Joe Flacco,
Jason Bean.
Joe Flacco, Sam Ellinger, and Keaton Slovis.
And Jason, don't discount Jason fucking Bean. Are
Sorry.
you kidding me?
But their first 4 are
Kansas quarterback. Remember that dude?
Yeah, Richardson, Flacco, Ellinger, and Slovis.
Jason Bean.
Okay,
That guy
I
is
understand Jason Bean.
4 of 6, 51 yards and a touchdown.
I mean, if you told me all these guys coming out of college, I would say this is the best team ever because they have Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon at running back.
no, literally.
They have Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Quentin Nelson. They have some college names in here.
That quarterback.
Quiddy
room,
Pay.
They're fighting.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Well, they're all fighting to see who back up Anthony
listen
Richardson.
to this. 5 of 6 from Ellinger. 4 of 6 for Jason Bean. Slovis was 3 of 5. Flacco 3 of 5 and Richardson 2 of 4. I mean,
They're all efficient out there.
they're all out there getting, like I said, Jason
it
Bean.
comes down to Richardson's health.
That's why they have such a deep quarterback room,
Yeah.
is what I was thinking. But anyway, go back to AFC North. So I don't have the Browns winning that for that reason because they just can't. They can't do it. I don't know why. I think the Steelers and the Bengals look a lot better than they did last year. And the Steelers were a playoff team. The Bengals almost were. A healthy Bengals, healthy Joe Burrow, that team could win the Super Bowl. I love the Steelers. I don't know about you.
I'm changing my pick right now.
I don't know you. I love the Steelers, but I'm going with the Ravens again. I think they're just almost as good, a little bit less than last year, and they were able to, should have won the AFC. They won the AFC in the regular season.
So they lost on defense?
They lost a lot on defense.
Patrick Queen, Mike McDonald. They
What's
lost
the most important piece they lost?
fucking hell yeah, bro.
Mhm.
The defensive coordinator.
You see
Defensive
did you
coordinator.
see
That's the most
Seattle's
important piece to
tackling?
me.
Did you see Seattle's tackling with him as that first game?
Yeah, their defense will
Bro, I
not.
was like,
And Bobby Wagner's still there.
what
There
am
was
I watching?
arguments. There was statistic arguments that defense was the best defense in the history of football last year. They will not be that this year.
What did they hold Patrick Mahomes to in the championship game?
17.
That's insane. With 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
And 1 turnover in short field.
But
Uh,
That turned into a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So,
only Josh Allen got that kind of help.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst game plan. We already talked about that as much as we can. But gaining Derrick Henry and having a similar team, I'm going to still go with the Ravens to win it.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like the Steelers to win it.
Their
too.
back half of their schedule is hard. I think
We started with the toughest division.
we did. I think with the Browns, I think it's Steelers or Browns, and they could both end up third. This division,
I think it's Steelers. I think the Browns would be 4th for me.
I'm a little scared about Joe Burrow's wrist. That's still not good. They said.
Yeah.
So that scares me.
The Browns being cursed, Joe Burrow always being hurt is why I put them out. And for me, it was Steelers Ravens.
For
at
me,
the
it's the
top.
most consistent with the Steelers, and I do think Russell Wilson, if healthy, or Justin Fields for a few games if he has to. I mean,
Who has the least biggest question mark at
Yeah.
quarterback?
of the whole division, well, it's the Ravens.
That's why I like them.
Do you know how many games the Steelers won last year, both of you?
10, 11.
10 games.
10 games.
Do you know 2 of their losses were? Arizona at home and New England at home.
Well,
That could have been a 12-win team with Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph.
It's another team, though, that it's just like Watt's going to be hurt.
Yeah, but
What's
they
going
still-
on? The quarterbacks, question marks. You know what, though? I would put both their O-line and D-line in the top 10 in the NFL. I love when teams have
Head
that.
coach.
Yeah, head coach.
That
They're
guy
gonna be 9-8 or better. We know
The
that.
back half of their schedule is so hard.
But that's the whole division.
No, it's not.
That whole division schedule's tough.
Their schedule starts Falcons. So you count their wins real quick.
Okay.
Falcons on the road.
Okay.
Win or loss.
Win.
Broncos on the road.
If I put a number up, it's a win.
I mean, that's Russell Wilson's
Yeah,
revenge
yeah.
game. Chargers at home.
Give them a win.
Colts on the road. Give them a loss there.
Give them a loss.
Cowboys at home. Yeah.
At home for the Steelers?
Yeah.
Give them a win.
Jets at home.
I'll give them a loss there.
Giants at home.
Win.
Commanders on the road.
Win.
Ravens at home. Give them the home wins for the
divisions.
So Browns on the road.
No.
Bengals on the road.
No.
Browns at home.
Win.
Eagles on the road.
Give them a win.
Ravens on the road.
Win. Or no.
Chiefs at home.
No.
And Bengals at home.
10.
Their last, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their last 8 games go Ravens, Browns, Bengals. Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, fucking come on. Who gave them that schedule? All the division in the last 8 weeks. Eagles, Chiefs. I mean, what the fuck? What did they do to anyone?
Remember that was the Ravens schedule last year, and they smoked it.
Yeah, and if they're fucking going strong,
They were going Jags, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Steelers, Brown. What? And they smoked everyone.
Yeah, like Mike McDonald though.
Lions, they smoked the Lions.
40.
Fuck me.
Bill, who you got for the North? So who's your pick officially?
Ravens.
Ravens. I got the Steelers.
He's coming back from injury. I think he'll be healthy. Joe Burrow. Bengals.
I'm not mad.
3
Like
different
I
picks.
said,
I like that. That's for sure the toughest division.
I think Steelers will make the playoffs with Mike because of Mike Tomlin, and they obviously improved their quarterback room.
I think 3 teams make the playoffs out of this division.
I think it's Bengals, Ravens, Steelers in that order. I actually think the Browns have a bad year because Deshaun Watson's healthy and he's just not going to be good again.
I hope not. I hope they win the Super Bowl.
I think they win 8 or 9 games and don't make the playoffs.
I like their win total over. They're 8.5, and I'm counting 10, 11 every time I count the Browns.
Okay. That's the toughest division. I'll prove it right here. Who do we got for the AFC West? Let's do this in 3 words.
Chiefs.
Okay.
AFC East.
This one is...
Just to touch on the AFC West, do you see any other team making the playoffs from
Chargers?
Possibly.
I was going to say the
I think the Chiefs got to start keeping an eye on the Chargers.
I do agree with
now.
I agree with the dude Antonio Pierce from here though in the West who said, well, I mean they need to worry about their quarterback, but he's like, we have Max Crosby and Quinn. Who'd they get? Not Quinton Williams. Was it Quinton Williams? No, it's Max Crosby and
their
oh
D-line.
my god, yes, they just got someone on their D line. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name.
Christian Wilkins.
He's like, worry about your quarterbacks when we play you guys. And I'm like, he makes a fair point, but
from
Gardner,
Dolphins.
dude, fuck yeah.
That's fair.
That's going to be tough. He said they're the first. He said they beat everybody every day into the locker room. They're out working before anyone gets there. So
that team's nice. That defense is nice.
That defense is fucking lethal.
Nice. Tell you what, I'm a big fan of Trayvon Moehrig and Jack Jones too in that secondary.
As well.
Yeah.
That defense I'm not worried about.
I loved Trayvon Moehrig.
No.
That offense I'm worried about.
At TCU.
You're seeing on the show receivers, Devontae.
Yeah, that guy's
even after the games they won, he's like, I'm not getting the ball. It's like, get the fuck out.
Did you see that video with him and Amon-Ra? Did we send that to each other? Did I send that to you guys? No.
Who?
Amon-Ra and Tay talking to each other.
Mm-mm.
And Tay said, what would you say my weaknesses are? And he was like, well, you ran like a 40, so speed. And he was like, what do you call that, like mental whatever? And he was like, well, I mean, yeah, on the sideline against us, you were firing your head. I was like, I can give you that. And I was like, God damn, Amon-Ra was like sitting across from you telling you like you're fucking loose cannon.
Have you seen that video?
It
was on the show.
And he said, you're not willing to block. And I was like, oh my God.
They said Dan Campbell's like, the game's over.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was like,
Amon-Ra was like, put me in. And he pushed this guy down the fucking field.
That's my favorite
You
receiver.
think Tay Adams is doing that?
Devontae said, he's like, man, I'm older. I made money. I don't want to block. And he's like, you don't want to block? He's like, I'm blocking.
And he was hurt, by the way, when he was doing that blocking shit and all that. Yeah, but when you're going into the season and saying Gardner Minshew's our guy, I'm not going to put you to like win your division. You know what I mean? But I do like their team in certain areas. I think they're building something there.
Defense, kicker, great.
Defense, and kickers. AJ Cole as well.
Yeah, special teams.
Special teams and defense. You're winning. You got to put points to win sometimes.
You're the Iowa of the NFL.
You're the Iowa of the NFL. And they're willing, and I think they're willing to play for their coach as well. So
unfortunately, though, you're playing against Mahomes, Herbert.
This looks like it could be
and Sean Payton.
This looks like
Nix,
looks like it could be the first season of Dan Campbell with the Lions, where they're fighting. And next year, if you make a bunch of improvements like they did, you could be a playoff NFC championship team, AFC champion for the Raiders.
They get a quarterback.
If they get a quarterback,
if they had Michael Penix this year,
if you told me, we'll just look at the Jets. They signed Moses Brown and Tyron Smith. And they drafted a tackle, and they got a quarterback too. If you told me that right after the season, they keep the whole same team, and they do those 4 things rather, 3 O linemen in a quarterback, I would say, holy fuck, I'm scared of that team.
Yeah. If you put Aaron Rodgers on the Raiders, you'd talk about him the same like you did the Jets.
Right.
You'd be like, okay, hold on a second.
Right.
We're gonna have to
Let's give it a second.
Speaking of the Jets, let's move to AFC East.
This is a tough one between Jets and Bills. I don't think it's going to be the Dolphins. Maybe one of you two do, but I'm going to go with the Bills.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
This is like people aren't going to believe what they're hearing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Jets because I think with the Bills,
Wow.
I think with the Bills' new offense, not that it's going to be tough or whatever, but I feel like it's going to, I don't think Keon Coleman's going to be like the number one guy, so I think they might drop a few games that they maybe shouldn't. And I think the Jets are. It all depends on Rodgers' health, but I think if Rodgers comes in and is healthy, their backup's somebody good too.
If the Jets come in and
Tyrod Taylor will win you a few fucking games. That guy will come out there. But the defense gives up 10, 15, 13 points. He'll put up 14 points. I mean,
Jordan Travis?
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor will.
Hey, I've been seeing Breece Hall go top 5 in mock drafts. Are you thinking
next press conference, let's do a fantasy.
But are you thinking that? I don't think that.
I do. Not top 5.
I think first 2 rounds.
First round,
top 10.
First round for sure.
Okay.
But also depends
Mike
on your
Williams,
league.
forgot about that.
Yeah, he hasn't fucking played yet. That's why.
We'll see what with Tyron, that rookie tackle that they took first round, and Morgan Moses. They also got. Did they sign John Simpson this year? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Bill? Yeah, AFC East. So I have Jets. Danny has Bills.
I'm gonna go Bills as well.
He said Patriots. This is fucking unbelievable.
I was going to.
You guys are picking Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills until the Jets prove me otherwise.
Josh Allen's a stud. Second best quarterback in the league. So.
Don't do this. Let's not do this.
We had a huge argument yesterday about this in the Love Wins chat.
AFC South. I gotta piss so bad.
The Houston Texans.
I'm also gonna go Texans, and you're gonna go Colts.
Indianapolis Colts will win that division.
I don't think Anthony Richardson plays more than half the season.
We just talked about Kedon Slovis and Joe Flacco.
What's
Josh Bean?
Something. Bean.
No, that's a guy I know.
Brandon Bean.
He's awesome.
Brandon Bass.
Bean for Kansas, he was electrifying.
Sam Ellinger. He's horrible.
NFC North. I want to go Packers.
I want to go Packers too, but I'm gonna go Lions. They're the better team.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I like the Lions.
Jahmyr Gibbs injury scares me.
I'm gonna do this.
ACL injury.
What do you mean?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't know who you guys got for conference.
Left.
I don't know if we're doing conference regular season yet. I'll take the
week.
Lions to win them.
Yeah, next week we'll do that.
Okay.
Because I thought Gibbs was hammy.
Nope, changed ACL.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they don't know yet.
I'm going to go with Lions because they didn't really ride Gibbs a lot last year either.
I'm going to go Lions
I think their defense got better and they were in the NFC Championship last year.
And their offense is the same.
Yep.
Another year in the system.
I think with Green Bay.
All games indoor, basically.
There's a year of footage on Jordan Love now. And a year of footage
We'll find out.
And
that's how I feel about Stroud.
The way that 49ers game ended, it's like I think Jordan Love's going to do a lot of that. Interceptions that shouldn't happen, type of shit like that. I love Jordan Love. I think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think he's going to be one of those where it's like, fuck, why did you make that throw?
Let's go to another easy one that I think we're going to rattle off in 3 words. NFC
Niners.
West. Niners.
Oh, yeah, Niners.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd surprise us with the Rams.
I think Seattle's
I'll give a preview.
I think Rams are going to be second in that conference, in that division.
That's a good point, too. That division's tough.
I love the Rams.
If next week we're going to do most surprising team that you think is going to surprise people and most disappointing team, the Seahawks are on my list of surprise, and Cardinals. That whole division, if that coach Gannon got fucking, the Cardinals played hard. They beat us. Beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I think we'll do this in 3 words too. Let's just see. NFC South, Bucks.
Bucks.
Bang, I thought maybe someone will go Falcons here.
Yeah.
That'll maybe be my surprising team.
I think Baker's found his spot. As much shit I give Todd Bowles, the guy can coach a fucking defense.
And I'm going to make a prediction. Me and Eric are going to do this in 2 words, and Bill's going to fuck this up. NFC East, Eagles.
Redskins.
Really? Oh,
you have to actually have the Commanders winning it.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's awesome.
I did not see that coming.
Really?
I think Jaden Daniels is that guy. He's got weapons.
I did not see this coming. Their over under for wins in the division is 2.5.
They'll beat the Giants twice.
So there's 2.
I think the Eagles.
Can they get one of the Eagles or the Cowboys once at home?
I think the Eagles are gonna fucking.
Well, now I'm going to that Cardinals Commanders game for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Eagles. You've seen that the Colts head coach Steichen was the only reason that offense was moving.
Yeah,
it wasn't Sirianni's offense.
Who they got now?
That's however.
That offense.
Yeah, they got Kellen fucking Moore. Because that's what I want is Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 times.
No, you don't. That's why I'm
saying.
Scared.
The
Redskins, that's a great
and
pick.
the Cowboys, I sure as fuck ain't picking the fucking Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go Cowboys.
There's been no repeat winner.
Ever.
They don't look great. I think this is a blatant Eagles pick.
I think so too. But I'm not mad.
How did they end the year last year too? The Eagles
1-5, 1-6, 1-7. I think after week 10
or something, 8-0.
They were like 9-1, and they won one more game, and then they lost their playoff game to the Bucks, where they did
horrific bad.
And AJ Brown's going to be a fucking cancer in that locker room.
Good point.
They made a lot of improvements. I can't remember where, but they did.
And I think Dan Quinn's the guy that teams play for.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn's,
I forgot that Dan Quinn's their head.
Dan Quinn's
coach.
not a. I don't think he's going to win them a Super Bowl.
They made a lot of improvements.
They took a lot of good players from the Cowboys from defense.
And Biazic, they took our center.
Jaden Daniels, I think in hindsight, I think Caleb Williams was the best quarterback coming out of college, but I don't think it was I don't think Jaden Daniels was number 2. He was 1A, 1B.
Yeah, I could see that too. I thought all the quarterbacks were very close.
They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back.
Who?
Eagles.
Mm-hmm. CJ. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a good year for football. I think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and there's so many teams in the middle. That's what's going to be fun.
Forgot they got Paris Campbell.
Like you're going to get like a fucking
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to get like a Steelers Colts fucking wild card game, and you're not going to believe how great that game's going to be.
Right.
But yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's rattle off real. Do you remember your picks
of what?
Just the divisions.
Yes.
So NFC North Lions, East Eagles, South Bucks, West Niners, AFC North Steelers, East Jets, South Colts, West Chiefs for me.
NFC East Eagles, NFC North Lions, NFC South Bucks, NFC West Niners, AFC East Bills, AFC North Ravens, AFC South Texans, and AFC West Chiefs for me.
AFC East Bills, AFC North Bengals, AFC South Texans, AFC West Chiefs, NFC East Commanders, NFC North Lions, NFC South Bucks, NFC West Niners.
Do you not read?
Yeah.
I can hear myself.
I know it's the here, and you always keep it in. I would take it out.
I just don't want to. Then if it fucks up or something like that.
I'm one of those too. If I take it out,
and I will say,
right away.
Which team with Ron Rivera always played the Eagles close and almost beat them both times last year?
Yeah, Riverboat Ron doesn't go for 2. He's a fucking piece of shit. I hate that. Where is he at?
He's dead. He died.
Hopefully. Other than that, like I said, next week we can do fantasy, and we're gonna do our awards picks. I think next week or the week after. We'll see how it goes. You got anything else?
He's just retired, I think. Okay, no, I don't.
He should be out. Bill?
Nope.
All right, well, that was episode 40. 41 will be closer to football. Just before we get out, who's the NBA champions of 2024?
Boston Celtics.
Oh, okay, just making sure that's still fact, so you can all go fuck yourselves. We'll see you next week. No bet of the week this week. Lost again. We'll update the records next week. Other than that, everyone stay safe.